What's up, guys? You got Johnny here, and we're here back with CPC. This week, it's week 4, and we're facing Chime. Really cool dude, an awesome, nice guy, and you'll find his link down in the description below. There's not going to be a live game, as you can see, this week, because we play really late on Sunday evening, so yesterday evening. This has to go up on Monday, so I'm a bit pressed for time. It was a bit late. There were people at the house, so I couldn't record. However, we did have our game, and his team. Let me give a quick team overview first. I'm not going to in-depth team build, but a quick team overview. His draft is Megalopunny, Thunderous, Incarnate, Slowbro, Changro, Doublade, Nihiligo, Magmar, Flygon, and Cryogonal. I might have missed something, but I think that's it. So we do have quite a good matchup here. The only thing that worries me specifically is the Thunderous. But yeah. Starting out with our team, we have a physically or mixed defensive Mew, able to tank on the Mega Lopunny with Rocky Helmet, Will-O-Wisp, a Roost, Taunt, and Ice Beam. Also able with Ice Beam to not to 2KO the Thunderous and take any hit in return, even a +2 T-Bolt if not Life Orb doesn't kill me. So that's nice. Taunt and Will-O-Wisp also allow me to Taunt actually allows me to beat the Slowbro 100% of the time, or at least over time beat it down. If I'm in a 1v1 situation, it will take its time just because I only have Ice Beam, but my whole other team is basically built to capitalize on that. Will-O-Wisp, I wanted to run Toxic, but Will-O-Wisp was just there so I can cripple the Doublade, which is a hindrance to my next two Pokemon, which is my Bug Offensive Core here in Mega Scizor and Scolipede. Both are physically offensive Bug Sweepers, meant to break for each other, and then the other one can clean up. ST Scizor with Bug Bite and Bullet Punch does ridiculously well versus his team if you count out the Doublade. And given that Doublade doesn't really do much back to Scizor, like at all, I'm in a really good spot here. And once I weaken Doublade and his team enough, my SD Scolipede can just come in and clean up the game with just 3 coverage moves being Poison Jab, Earthquake, and Mega Horn, which is just stupid but good versus his team. Next up, as I said, Doublade is a hindrance to my 2 main sweepers here, so I needed something to take care of it, which means I'm bringing a offensive Calm Mind 3-attack Suicune. Now, it's max HP. Sorry, a lot of special attack, Calm Mind with Shadow Ball, which hits the Slowbro and the Doublade, Scald, which hits pretty much everything on his team, and Ice Beam, which at +1 has a good chance of OHKOing the Thunderous and OHKOing non-Assault Vest Tangrowth. Plus, he doesn't have anything that can revenge this Suicune set at +1. So this one, if I ever get up to +1 versus like his passive stuff, that doesn't really bother me, like the Magmar, which depending on the set actually, the Slowbro or the Doublade, I have a really good shot of just putting in a lot of work with this Suicune right here. Next up, I wanted something that can deny hazards on his team, because his only Stealth Rocker is Nihiligo, which, well, it's good Stealth Rocker. You don't want it to be a Stealth Rocker every week. But so I'm bringing a Focus Sash, Lead Mienshao with Fake Out, Drain Punch, Knockoff, and U-Turn. Now, this set has 2 merits for me. One, I can comfortably lead off with it, and even the one that usually bothers me, I can get a free knockoff off, which also is nice for the Slowbro and the Doublade again. So if I get rid of Doublade's Eviolite, it's not a check to Scizor anymore at all. And yeah, also getting the potential Tanga Berry, which I expect to be on Slowbro, knocked off, is extremely nice for me. But that's also something why I brought my 2 offensive Bug monsters and knock off over Bug Bite over knockoff and Scizor, just because this does allow a pop a potential Tanga Berry, so the other one can clean up late game. That's kind of the thought process here. But Sash Mienshao is actually inner focus this game, which is funny. We'll see later. And inner focus is just meant because if the Mega Lopunny tries to scout for my Choice Scarf, if he leads with it, I always have the potential to catch him faking me out and then drain punching and killing him and getting a lot of health back that way. And last but not least, my obligatory Stunt Fist here, Stealth Rocker. Spadef enough to beat the Thunderous with Protect to capitalize on some Toxics, and I potentially throw out, because I also have Toxic on this, and to scout out his Scarfers. And to not lose to HJK Mega Lopunny, because it might actually be forced to click HJK, because Stunfisk is bulky as shit. So yeah, that's the team. As I said, I have my Mienshao as a dedicated lead, so I'm just gonna leave off with it. as he leads off with his Doublade. And as I said, I'm Focus Sash, I don't fear anything, and Doublade is one, if not the only big stop to my offensive sweepers here. So what I'm going to do is to just click knock off here, turn 1, get a hit of the Eviolite, which is nice. He goes for Gyro Ball, permitting to me that he's most likely a defensive set, and he brings down my Mienshao to his Sash. Now, I could have stayed in here and just sacked off my Mienshao, but I was really expecting him to go for the Shadow Sneak, which, again, as I mentioned, Doublade can't really touch Mega Scizor, which is why I just go hard into my Scizor now. And here I do expect the Magmar to come in, and I double into Suicune, predicting the Magmar, even if he stayed in going for some weird move like Natural Gift Fighting if it gets that, or HP Fire. This was still my best play because Doublade also doesn't do a whole lot to my Suicune, and I'm in a good position because of that. Now here, he actually does pull the double into Magmar, so this play works out really well in my favor, and I'm just free to get up Calm Mind here, because what I am expecting actually is this Magmar to be max HP and max defense, in order to be a Scizor check, which is good, because Eviolite Magmar actually tanks that quite well. However, what I wasn't expecting here is why I go for the Calm Mind, because even Thunder Punch can't 2KO me from an Eviolite Magmar. And Magmar, funnily enough, it doesn't get Thunderbolt in contrast to like Mortar. I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong on that, but it still wouldn't have done enough. So I go for the Calm Mind here as he belly drums, and I'm like, oh shit. Now, I could have. I'm not going to lose to this. I'm pretty sure I don't, because I can put it in Bullet Punch range, and then outspeed with, or just outspeed the Scully and kill it. I also still have Mew and Stunfisk, would still take a hit. However, what is scary about this next play is that he could well go for Flame Charge here. However, in the end, because I still have my Helmet Mew that can just click Softball repeatedly versus this, and put it in range, I'm not as worried about that. So, and I also don't think he's going to go for Flame Charge against a +1 Suicune, which, looking at his team, is a humongous threat to his team. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sack off my Mienshao here on the Thunder Punch. No reason to really go Stunfisk. And I can go Scolipede afterwards because he didn't go for Flame Charge and just click Earthquake. As he predicts that really well, goes into his Slowbro, which is max defense, as I can see from the damage. Now here, as I said, my Buck Core is meant to break for each other, right? I'm expecting Tango Berry on his Slowbro. So what I am going to do is I'm just going to click Mega Horn in order for my Scizor later SD'd up to guaranteed knock him out. Also, even if he is Tango Berry and lives, Psyshock, Scald, and Flamethrower all don't knock me out right here, and I don't expect him to run Psychic when Psyshock is better versus my Calm Mind sweeper like Suicune. So what this is why I feel like, for me personally, this was a bit of a risk-free play. I also have the Black Sludge, so even if he weakens me now, I can comfortably, well, not comfortably, but I can get back out of Fake Out range for Mega Lob later on. So that's also part of why I make this play. Now here, as you can see, I just go for the Mega Horn as he doubles into Thundurus, which is perfect for me because the Thundurus is easily the biggest threat to my team. I get 35% off with this, which is huge damage, and now I'm pretty free here to just go into my Stunfisk. It's my dedicated counter phase, and I'm a lot, even if I'm a Mon down, I'm a lot ahead right now. Doublade lost its Eviolite, Magmar is weak, and it's looking really good for me right now. So I'm just going to go into my Stunfisk as he pulls out the double into Doublade, which is honestly fine for me. I'm just going to set up my Stealth Rocks because, again, Doublade doesn't really touch Stunfisk. As you can see, that bounces off, but he gets the para, which is bad for me in a way because now Gyro Ball is actually going to do more damage to my Pokemon, but I think I'm still good because Seal is just an underwhelming stat move against anything on my team that wasn't a Mienshao. So, so now I'm going to go back out into my Mega Scizor, just because, as I said, he can't touch me, and I can finally get off my Mega Evolution. He gets paralyzed, which is unfortunate for him, because I could have easily, he could have at least, depending on what he did there, could have forced me to roost. This way, I'm just free to get up a Sword Stance right here, as he goes into Magmar. Now, I SD up with Magmar, with him, and even if it's a max defense Magmar, with Eviolite, I still do have a shot of knocking him out here. I ran the calc afterwards. It is a roll, so as you can see, I go for the Bullet Punch, I get a crit, which is unfortunate. Maybe my better play would have been to go in Suicune, but You know, hindsight 2020, and I'm still here with this +2 Mega Scizor as he goes into his Slowbro, basically screaming to me that he's Tangaberry. I calc Flamethrower doesn't knock me out if Fire Blast does, but I don't really care as long as I'm break the or pop the Tangaberry. And if he isn't Tanga, or for example Assault Vest, I still kill here. So, and even if he revenges my Mega Scizor with a Fire Blast, I can always go Suicune after, get up a Calm Mind, and keep pressuring his team from there, which then easily loses to Scolipede after the next time. So what I'm going to do is just going to go for the Bug Bite. He is the Tangaberry. I knock him down to 41% as he Flamethrowers me. I take that because I'm pretty... because Mega Scizor is just fat. It's just a great Pokemon. And I double here, going into Suicune, because this covers both his plays. If he stays in, I can get up a Mind with this Suicune. However, if he goes into Doublade, I also get up a Calm Mind, which is like his safest play if he goes Doublade here. Preserving his Suicune, his Slowbro, and trying to regenerate back some health to maybe take on the rest of my team. So what I'm going to do is do this, and it works out perfectly because Doublade doesn't touch my Suicune at all. I get up a free Calm Mind as he goes hard into his Lopunny, which is really good for me because even Fake Out into HJK does knock me out, and depending on his set, if he's adamant, it might knock me in range. But yeah. Now here, my obvious switch in is Mew. However, I know that Lopunny potentially can still do like Cosmic Power Baton Pass sub shenanigans to Thundurus, and if it's a rest Thundurus, I haven't seen anything but this set. I still have potential to lose, which is something in as good a position as I am. I don't want to risk this. However, this makes me, this makes me actually stay in with Suicune here just to get off Scald on this Lopunny. If he clicks anything but Fake Out, I have a good. I do about 80% to him, I think, maybe 70 to 80, with a chance of a burn and crippling this Lopunny for good. If he clicks Fake Out here, I'm the wiser. He won't run Fake Out on a Baton Passing or a Stab Boosting Lopunny, most likely. At least a Fake Out Lopunny will usually not be able to beat a defensive Mew. So I have a really safe switch out into my Mew the next turn. So this is going to play out here. He clicks Fake Out, and I click Scald. And as you'll see, I'm Inner Focus Suicune. So this was the mistake I was talking about. This happened. Suicune's hidden ability is Inner Focus, and this isn't released, however, so I wasn't allowed to run it. The issue must have occurred with Showdown messing things up, because my Mienshao actually was Inner Focus, and my Suicune was supposed to be Pressure. I think Showdown, it must have been Showdown glitch that somehow Suicune also got Inner Focus. I'm really sorry, Chime, that it played out this way, because I obviously knocked down the Lopunny really low here and get the burn, which is super unfortunate for him because this basically means it's game over. The Suicune can just sweep straight through him. If he had gotten the next turn of damage, it would have taken a bit longer, but we discussed afterwards. Like, I switch into Mew, and at this point, with my team structure and my bullet punching Scizor still in the back, he really had no way of breaking down and beating my team. So I'm just going to let this play out the remaining turns. We discussed this afterwards. This was unfortunate, but his matchup was atrocious. He misses high jump kick to boot, which is just sometimes there are these days. You have a matchup like he has, which is pretty terrible. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty terrible for him. It was good for me, and as you can see now, he tries to nasty plot up. I just Ice Beam here to kill him, and then he forfeits because there was nothing he could do after the Lopunny missed hits or the Lopunny and Inner Focus mishap occurred here. Yeah, still a good game to Chime. I think I had a good team. I could have executed this, and we talked to the admins again afterwards, which resulted in me still getting the 5-4 victory because we all thought that I wouldn't lose a point of differential here anymore if I played it correctly, which at this point shouldn't have been too hard considering the mons I had left. Yeah, so GG to Chime. Unfortunate mishappening. Sorry, hope to play you in a better game when you don't have the worst matchup of your life, as you said yourself. But yeah, that's our week 4 game. We're 2-2. We're back in it, guys. We can definitely still get a good season out of it. I'm feeling more and more comfortable with parts of my team, so I'm really happy with this. Yeah, but thanks for checking out the video. My name's Johnny. Cheers. I'm out.